I'm Edie Lush. I'm here at the Hub Pavilion in Davos and very pleased now to be joined by Dr. Han. Thank you very much for coming. Former Prime Minister of Korea, you're now Chairman of the Global Green Growth Initiative.
Yes, indeed.
You've been at Davos many times. Tell me a little bit about your impressions this time compared to before.
Well, in 2002, I was at Davos in New York. Mm-hmm. That was first time that Davos had its forum outside Switzerland. Mm-hmm. Because that year before, there was 9/11. And, to show solidarity with the New Yorkers, Davos came to New York. At that time, I was president of the 56th session of the United Nations General Assembly. So I was heavily involved in the aftermath of the terrorist attack in September. But then at that time, it was quite gloomy. But New York also very much enthused that Davos was there to cheer them. And 2 years ago, I was also in Davos as Prime Minister of Korea. At that time, it was in the aftermath of the collapse of the Lehman Brothers. And we could hardly find the bankers at the time. Most of the participants were from the public sector, head of state and government. At that time, atmosphere was very gloomy, very, very gloomy. But this year, I am here as chairman of the GGGI. And I find that atmosphere here today is very much pleasant, happy, and future seems very promising. I'm glad that I'm here today at this Davos.
So if you tell me a little bit about what you're trying to show the world in terms of what Korea could teach the world, the developing countries who are now trying to grow sustainably, given what you have achieved in Korea, what's your message now?
Before I was called back to public service in 2008 as Prime Minister, I served as Special Envoy of the UN Secretary General on Climate Change. In that capacity, I traveled widely and met many leaders in the world and discussed with them how to meet the challenge of climate change. And when I became Prime Minister, I was very much concerned about our climate change issues in Korea, and President Lee Myung-bak was also very much forward-looking. And in August 15th of 2008, he announced publicly that from now on, low-carbon green growth will be the national vision, new national vision of Korea. And based on that vision, we put that vision into policy action, result which was Green New Deal policy in early part of 2009. And this Global Green Growth Institute was created about 6 months ago. In actual fact, President Lee, when he went to Copenhagen to attend COP15, he announced at the time that Korea is going to create Global Green Growth Institute. Although it is headquartered in Korea, it's a global institution. I'm chair, and vice chair is Lord Nicholas Stern of LSE in the United Kingdom. What we are trying to do is that, to deal with the challenge of climate change, incremental approach is not enough. We think that we have to change the paradigm of growth. We have to change the system. And what we are doing now at the GGGI is exactly trying to promote the new paradigm of growth, which are now being implemented in Korea. We have accumulated some amount of experience during the last 2.5 years, and we are trying to share this knowledge with the developing countries, because most of the developed countries have capacity to absorb new technologies, but many developing countries do not have capacity. So we are concentrating on developing countries to share our experience and also let them leapfrog their development process by adopting new paradigm of growth.
So in terms of your experience leading Korea through a period of very fast economic development, where perhaps the Green Growth Initiative wasn't at the utmost of your mind at the time, what would you say now to countries who are looking to develop in the way that you did, but perhaps in a greener way?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, our previous paradigm of growth was quantity-oriented, fossil fuel-dependent growth. So although we grew very fast, we also degrade our environment. So there was a kind of argument between the growth proponents and the environmentalists. environment will say that we should not grow too fast because it will have a very negative impact on the environment, whereas growth proponent will say that we'll grow first and then deal with the problem of environment later. So this trade-off between growth and environmental sustainability has been always there. What we are trying to do is to enhance the growth, at the same time enhance the climatic and environmental sustainability. We are trying to bring about complementarity between the growth and the sustainability. And this is first time. I think no other country in the world has experimented with this strategy that, and also we, as I said, have accumulated several amount interesting results that we would like to share this with the developing countries so that they can go faster than they have planned in their development economy. And in actual fact, we are promoting not just quantity of growth, but quality of growth. So quality will be a very important factor that will guide the future course of development, or not only of Korea, but all other countries that would like to know what we are doing.
Can you tell me an example of how of a piece of advice that you would give, for example, to a prime minister of a country that would like to take advantage of your experience? Is there particular technologies that you're trying to promote?
When we were devising a policy, green growth policy, we identified 17 new engines of growth in three broad areas of categories. One is green technology, which includes new and renewable energy, LED, and energy-saving industries, and so on. And second part is fusion of technology, that is robotics, nanotics, that kind of thing. That is the fusion of manufacturing technology with ICT. Third one was high-value added services like the global medical service and global educational service, so on. And I think that unlike in all the paradigm of growth, where main factor of production is capital and labor, in the new paradigm of growth, main factor of production will be new ideas, transformation, innovation, and state-of-the-art technology. Particularly ICT, information communication technology, will play a very important role. For example, smart grid is a good example. That will reduce the amount of energy that will be involved in transferring whatever it is. So I think this experience that we accumulate in Korea can be copied by many developing countries, because quite a lot of them have good ICT programs. For example, I won't name the name, but the developing countries in Southeast Asia, they have more mobile phones than good toilets at home. So this means that even developing countries have good internet penetration at home. So we should like to maximize the benefit of this internet penetration to advance their course for new growth.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Han. We really appreciate your time here in the Hub
Thank you.
Culture Pavilion, and I'm Edie Lush.